Thanks, Ryan. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to Everyday with Jay. As you can see, I gave the channel a little facelift. I thought it was, I just like it better. I'm sick of all the red and black and white. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is kind of my little style over here. I know it's all dramatic. It kind of reminded me, though, of Gray Hughes. I'm not going to lie. It kind of reminded me of Gray Hughes background music when I put it on there, but I like it. White Boy says, Jay is for Justice podcast, making cooters great again. Who would have known? I am your host, Jay, with no E. One Odd Flo just gifted 5 clicker memberships. Thank you so much, Flo. Aurora, Army Mom, Bluebird, Cat's Thumbs, and Myron. Yay, welcome, guys. And look at the cute potato. She welcomes everybody in. Let's put her down here. She welcomes everybody in, that potato. Thank you so much, Flo. That's so generous of you. I think we can put her over here. There we go. Welcome in, clickers. We have our little clicker slides, our little pink clicker shoes. And as soon as we get more members, we will be able to put more emojis in. Congratulations, everybody, and make sure you thank Flo. Welcome in. Hey, Andy. True love is 4 paws. Seek the missing. You're a member of the other channel. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys being over here. What's up, Irish Eyes and Lucindy? Biscuits and Gravy, Laura. Good to see everybody this afternoon. I'm just bumming it over here in Studio J. We're doing a call-in tonight on the other channel on J is for Justice at 7 p.m. I'm going to take your calls on these restraining orders. See what y'all think about these restraining orders. Yes, please hit that like button. Thank you, Art and Crafty. Hey, Sweet Faces. Hi, Cheryl T. Hey, Schmicky. Welcome to the Clickers. Blank screen. Good to see you, Angie M. We have an Angie M and an Angie B. What's up, Sassy Cats? Tammy, Kelly. Sid, it's good to see you. Kels, it's good to see you as well. Heidi. Heidi says it's getting crazy on these streets. It's a little nuts. Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day. But I came across this restraining order cooter. I came across this video from Web Sleuth from 12 hours ago. She always gets SF Investigates on. I like him. If you want to follow him on Twitter, I put the link to his Twitter in chat. He does X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Cooter clicker. Shooter cooter. Protective order cooter. Body cam cooter. Hide yo man, Jay's on Vivacious Val in the house.
Ooh-wee, that will scare somebody.
What's up, Val? What's up, Val? How did you guys find that shit on the Gray Hughes? Have y'all seen Gray Hughes? punking out the Google Maps guy? Have you guys seen that? Granny showed it this morning, but I think it's on Savage. Let me see if I can find it. So Gray Hughes, a.k.a. Gray Pubes, punked out the Google drive-by guy or whatever. Hang on, let me... Would it have been last night? Did she play it? Was it last night? How did y'all find that? Oh, I know. Gray Pubes. Wait, Andy. Andy says, Bullhorn Betty put out a community post saying JLR and someone named SF work for the Proudfoots. So what's she on, Team Seth? Does it really matter? Yeah, she's definitely Team Seth. But if you notice, Andy, if you go back in her videos, when she first came to the Sebastian case, dude, I don't know where that is. Jody, why do you say he's a fraud? Why do you say that? I've never seen any proof of him being a fraud. He's actually worked for families. What makes you say that? I can't find it on her channel. Oh, Savage and Val are just the best. The best. But I didn't see which one it was where they found Gray Hughes, if it was even them. But it was funny as hell. I'm sure Granny won't mind if I play that little part. Good morning, True Crime for you. Jody says too much to type. Gray sounds like Eeyore to me. He's always down and mean. He is. I like FSF too. I've never seen him anything like that. You put it in Discord? All right, let me open Discord. Oh, well, I got that up. If you're not subscribed to Granny's Watching, there she is. We're at Celts. Oh, here it is. Thank you, Kels. Kels has got all of the shiz. Okay, here we go. Oh, shit. Bear with me. There we go. This says Apple Maps car driver says Gray Hughes blocked his way. It only has 182 views. So who the hell found this? Who found this? You can't figure out Discord, Dupsy? If you need help, you can email the team email. Wait for it. He ran up on the Google car. Hey, Gary, welcome in. That's okay, Jody. You're welcome to have your own opinions. Andy says, everyone cross your fingers that tomorrow the judge makes an example of her, especially if she don't show up. True Crime for You, that was probably on J is for Justice. This is my second channel. I didn't get an email for this, damn it. He ran up on the damn Google guy. Wait. Shit. Here's your local weather forecast in New Hampshire. You don't think she'll show up? We'll do a poll in a minute. I know the music. Hey, Damien. Good to see ya. Cal's and Sassy. Look at the visor. I'm told this is real, too. Running up like the ice cream truck. He did thumbs up. I can't. Can you imagine what the driver was thinking? Hi, Lucia. Why did he do this? I think because he loves maps so much. I don't know. I can't. Gray's just got a lot of issues. He's got more layers than an onion. You have to excuse his dickiness. Good morning. Good morning, everyone coming in. I think he's out doing yard work and he saw the guy. I don't know. Do you think he knew the guy was coming? Do you think he knows their schedule when they're going to be driving around updating their maps? Public only? What? Right, Gary? And a thumbs up. No, I wouldn't say that's normal. Is this how the map obsession started? I know you can't help but put a smile on your face. It can't help but put a smile on your face, right? I bet he knows their schedule. Oh, great pubes. I don't know what's funnier, that or when he got chased away by the guy in Moscow, Idaho that looked like Charlie Brown's, or not Charlie Brown's, Beavis and Butthead's teacher. The dude was literally in Berks. And he chased him off. Gray says, stop, collaborate, and listen. He has an air tag on the truck. Oh, man. Good morning, Pine Needle. Yeah, that's Gray Pubes running up on the maps guy. He has a half. Ew, white boy. What you looking at that for? What you looking at that for, white boy? You're the only one that noticed that.
John Wayne Bobbitt's penis.
Y'all are crazy as fuck. All right, let's get into today's video. We are going to be looking at, this is Web Sleuths. If you're not subscribed, you should go subscribe to them. She brings in a lot of information. She goes live a lot. I don't know if it's like every night, but a lot. If I Stayed the Chase Away was insanely humorous. It is pretty funny, B Legend. Like, we can all come together that that's fucking funny. I don't know anything about JLR's video, Music City. What is it? Is he live right meow? What is his title? See, I keep forgetting over here I can kind of fuck off a little bit. Damn, he's up to 242,000. Sebastian Rogers, suspect Seth, Tennessee, new info. New information in the Sebastian Rogers case. Seth Rogers spoke with Vinnie Politan. Seth admits he's still not cleared. We review the interview. Is the interview out then?
But obviously there can be downsides.
Oh, he's playing it on his phone.
Law enforcement. But no sign.
Oh, yeah, that's going to piss her off, that title. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We'll look at that interview later. Hughes, pubes, baby. Na 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 na. Oh my God. Sure, white boy. Did you see the Olympic high jumper that lost because his junk hit the pole? Stop it. Penny, you haven't missed anything. Welcome in, Penny. I did not, Jaguars. That's hilarious. She is going to be hot. Fit to be tied. I like JLR. I do. I get along with JLR. I don't have a problem with JLR at all. But right now, I think he's trying to piss her off. Read her community page. The Betsters. Yesterday, it was about my cooter. What's it about today? Oh, it's the one about JLR. I think I saw that already. Oh, she's got 2 new ones. Oh, she deleted the one about my coot. She deleted the one from yesterday. Or maybe because I reported it, I can't see it. She says, JLR abuses women mentally and physically. He punched his girlfriend in the face in Washington, D.C., New York, in front of many witnesses. We've learned so much about JLR and his past. While he's spreading lies about Seth, I'll be spreading the truth about JLR. Oh, jeez.
Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
Did she delete it, Ryan? Oh, definitely Lovey. I think definitely triggering her. What the fuck is wrong with her? This is how she bites back. This is her losing it. This is her losing control. When she feels like she's losing control, she just goes nuts. And if she deleted it, she knows that she's going off the deep end. Washington, D.C., New York. What is she talking about? Proud for mom. I don't know. Maybe it got reported so much it was taken down, huh? We're assuming she did the right thing. Arthur, I bet you do. I bet you do. You should troll her and all her cooterness. She wants everybody to think she's dangerous. She's an annoying, she's like, you know those horse flies in the summertime when they're fucking buzzing around, they won't go away. She's a horse fly. She's a horse fly, and maybe she should tend to her own coot and her own boobs, because that shit be looking like some pancake tits. I wish YouTube would silence her. I think it'll come. Is Washington, D.C. in the town in the state New York? I don't know, Tammy. She's weird. Meanwhile, JLR doesn't acknowledge her existence, nor did he when she said he was her boyfriend. She's a big-ass horsefly. I don't think she's dangerous. Like, I think that she porked the pillow guy. Who? My pillow? Her live last night sealed her fate. Oh, I didn't watch it. Is that the one where she was whispering? Or is there another one? She blocked you, Andy. Pancake tits. Can we get some pancakes in the chat for Betty? Irish eyes, those nips be dragging up on the concrete.
Yeah, they're loud and beefy.
Seriously, though, I mean, come on, baby. You need a little more lift than that brassiere is holding. Her lives making veiled threats, naming the Proudfoot's daughter. Yeah, that was sick. She's got new PJs. She visited Cole's Cooter. The pancakes. The My Pillow guy. Oh, man. White boy, let's not body shame. She porked the My Pillow dude. What? Where do you get that? Look at all the pancakes in chat. Pancakes and coffee beans. Couldn't the judge order her to close her legs? That's how I read that, Proud. I don't think a judge can order you to close your channel, but I think if she gets restraining orders and they're sent to YouTube, that YouTube can do something about it. If she's using their platform to harass and someone's granted a PPO, all they have to do is send it to YouTube Legal. Just FYI, if anybody talks to Chris, Katie, Bowersox, let them know. YouTube Legal. Just look up Google YouTube Legal contact. It's your conspiracy. It's white boy's conspiracy that she boinked the My Pillow guy. What's his Mike Lindell? I don't even think Mike Lindell would touch her. Road rash Betty boobs. Hey, Fafa Fuki. BNN has body cam of her threatening her ex with a pew pew. I saw that, women. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, we didn't even read this. Sorry. I have learned JLR and SF are working with the Proudfoots. JLR met with them when he was in the area. Neither can be trusted. But Tony can. Bullhorn buddy. I mean, does she see how ridiculous this sounds? Does she?
Shall we play a game?
Cockamamie Cooter. TikTok Cooter. My Pillow Cooter. Link to the episode from last night is in your Discord. Thank you, Kels. I love ya. Thank you. Shank you. Mike wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Right. Stereophonics, why are you rolling your eyes? What's wrong? Right, why are you rolling your eyes? Anyways, she says that SF and JLR. Oh, are you talking about the post? Okay. Do we need a okay for that?
Okay.
You think she porked TikTok Tony? Ew. Sloppy Cooter, just a YouTuber. She still has this stuff up, though. Chris and Katie Proudfoot are pure evil. Along with Chris' parents, they lie about everything. Evil will never prevail over this good world. She had a whole 8 envelopes to go out with flyers and wristbands. A whole 8 people. Those poor people. J for J is hanging out with the ghetto trash of YouTube. See how she loves mentioning me? She's such a coot. All right, let's get into the video. Again, this is PI Steve Fischer. And whether you like him or not, that's up to you. I personally do like Steve Fischer. Do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Do you know they passed a law in Florida because of Betty? Oh, bye, Matt.
flung.
Get back to work. Have a good day, actually. It is hot out there, dude. If you call in the next 15 minutes, you get another pillow and the My Pillow slippers and sheets for free. But wait, there's more. For a limited time, it's the My Bullhorn. Made with the great craftsmanship of the My Pillow, it is the My Bullhorn. Yeah, so this is SF and Trish from Web Sleuths. And it says he talks Sebastian Rogers and more. So we're just going to listen to the part about Sebastian. Oh, the law in Florida. It's about protesting in people's yards and shit. See if I can find that really quick because I'll forget. I'll have to look for it. But they passed a law, something about, protesting in front of people's homes. Something about that. I'll look for it. They banned bullhorns in Florida. Yeah, Gary pretty much summed it up. Must wear a bra to protest. Good way to get rid of her. Dusty old cooter. Old bucket cooter. Thank you, Kels. Welcome, new members. Let's see who the lucky members are. Kels. Another Kels. Jaguars, welcome. Curious AF. Starry Night and Music City Mom. Thank you so much, Kels. And make sure you guys thank Kels for that membership.
Everybody, I'm putting up SF Investigate, Steve Fischer's Twitter or X. It makes me so mad they changed the name.
HB1, thank you.
I've complained to Elon and he pays no attention to me. But everybody, if you want to know the scoop on a lot of cases, check out SF Investigate's Twitter page because it is amazing. Okay, I want to talk to you about a couple of things that really bother me. And I thought of you because you know how these things work. We've talked about this before, about how other true crime people on other platforms are just horrible. They're just horrible human beings. And they give people like us a terrible name because law enforcement thinks that we're all the same. I've told this story before. I had a friend calling a detective, and I actually had the same thing happen. Not with the same detective, but she said, hey, I'm calling for Web Sleuths. And he goes, oh, what's that? And they said, well, she has a YouTube channel. Click, And I had the same thing happen with another detective. So but in this particular case, in the Sebastian Rogers case, Sebastian went missing and in February, and it has just been the drama that has gone on in that case is unbelievable. And here's his picture now. He went missing. He literally just vanished from his home, it appears, with no shoes, and there's been no sign of him. Well, recently, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, recently it was Katie Proudfoot, and wasn't it Chris Proudfoot as well, and his parents that filed a protective order? Tell us how that works, because it just sounds like somebody could just go file one with no evidence, but tell us how that works, and especially in a case like this.
Yeah, so from the way I understand it, I have talked to Chris about it a little bit, but not really in depth. He's not giving up too much information. I believe it's Katie and then both of his parents. Okay. He told me there's 3 orders. So I don't know if the parents are on one and there's a 3rd order coming, or but the way it works with a restraining order is you file the request for a temporary restraining order, and you get what's called an ex parte hearing, which is an emergency hearing. You don't have to serve the other side.
I'm going to slow him down because he talks a lot faster than her. But he's explaining what we talked about before about the ex parte.
Okay.
It's so basically you get in the next day. You do have to show. So one of 2 things will happen at the ex parte hearing. You apply for the temporary restraining order, and they'll either grant the temporary, and set the hearing date. Either way, they set the hearing date, but they'll either grant the temporary or will not grant the temporary restraining orders. So based on it, and the TRO only lasts until the hearing date. So
Okay.
based on the evidence that they presented, which I don't know what that was, he didn't tell me that. The judge obviously felt there was enough of a need that he did grant the temporary orders. And from what I understand, I believe the hearing's on day after tomorrow on the 8th.
Right. And I forgot.
Mhm.
I forgot to mention one big part. They have filed this order, and it's against a YouTuber who they claim this person is harassing them, something terrible.
Okay, let's stop right there for a second. So he's telling us about the ex parte order, and like we said, it was already granted. When that ended up in the warrants section on the sheriff's department, it was already granted. She's like, oh, they're not going to get it. They already got it. And I believe if she doesn't show up, I feel like it's going to be granted just based on that. What do you guys think?
Just help a brother out here.
Did someone say teeth? Did someone say teeth? Thank you so much, Army Mom. So Trisha's like, she is harassing them something terrible. Hello, crimes under investigation.
And so when somebody files an order like this, they do have to have something to prove that it's happening, right?
Absolutely. The judge, they don't give these things out because you are taking away somebody's freedoms by doing this. They have to give up their weapons usually, and on top of, being prevented going certain public places. So, when I first, keep in mind, this is not my case. That
Right.
This was Chloe's case. I was just watching it, and
Sure.
we all know what happened there. But
Mm-hmm.
I did get in communicate. I was in communication.
We all know what happened there with Chloe. Seth chased her off. I'm not even going to say Tony anymore because Seth is a big boy. Bullhorn Betty wants to say, oh, he's disabled. He's not disabled. If Seth was disabled, he wouldn't be able to work at a jail. Hanging out with inmates and shit. No. But yeah, he chased Chloe away.
Happened with Chris and Katie, and he, from the very beginning, the thing that was really frustrating for them when they were like, well, the parents just left town and took off. Well, they left town because of safety issues, safety concerns that
Right.
they had. But
Okay, and I understand that. Remember, we talked about that. How do we know that Katie didn't feel not safe with Seth around? What if Katie doesn't know shit and her kid disappeared? Would you want to be home by yourself? Seth or no Seth? Would you want to be home by yourself? And with all of this being perpetrated out there, like sides and this guy's bad and this one's bad, this one's not bad. What the hell? Bringing extended family into it, accusing the Bowersox of taking a dead body to Alaska. I mean, what the hell? And I definitely do think the pew pew sent them over the edge. Because if she had a pew pew in her gun, let's put this in perspective, guys. When she bum rushed up on Terry Bowersox and she had a pew pew in her bra, would she have used it? Could she have used it? Yes, she could have. Would she have? I don't know. But we saw how angry she was. Do we need to play that? Because she was pissed. She was like, you better run through that fucking light. Take a look. Listen how freaking mad she was. And when she gets back in the car. Imagine this bitch having a pew-pew in her blouse.
That right there, my friend, is Terry Bowersox. Came by, took a picture. Took a picture. Why are you taking my license plate?
Why are you filming me?
Because you came by for me, Mr. Bowersox.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in a public place. Why are you harassing me and following me? Why are you harassing me and following me when I'm conducting business?
How can I be following you?
You just were in the plaza. You've been following me, sir. You guys have been harassing me and threatening me for 2 days. I am, right here, sir. Right here, sir. Prove it? Yeah, I did just prove it, asshole.
Look how she goes off after him.
Why is he even in Hendersonville?
Fucking light. Fuck with me.
Fuck with me. Imagine her having a pew-pew in her blouse. Conduct business. She wants to stand her ground and your ground too. I don't trust any of those parents. But yeah, exactly, Regina. She'd find out real fast how Raid feels in her face. Yeah, why are you following me as he's in front of you? Dude, she's a psycho.
They weren't going to speak up and say that because people were still looking for them and still even found them at the place where they ended up.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and people were live broadcasting from there and every movement they made. So, listen, I understand Chris comes across abruptly.
Right.
You know, I'm not, but there's a lot of things that were going on that, you know, made sense. TBI told them, both sides, don't talk to the press, you know, don't give out any of the investigative details that we give you. I think at that time they were willing to work with private investigators, like Chloe and the other one that was involved. But, you know, it got to a point where it was like, you know, the parents kind of, and certain spokespeople they brought in and YouTubers,
Yes.
you know, messed that up. And it just makes it so hard to investigate a case because nobody will say anything because they know it's going to hit the, you know, get twisted around in the news and everything. And so, yeah, so they, but eventually it hit a point where I think they felt that this is the only option they had left. And that YouTuber is enough of a threat, is unhinged enough that
Yeah.
it really is a threat. And I've had experiences with that YouTuber, that same person, and there's been police reports filed and all kinds of stuff. So,
And this,
He had to file police reports against her. He had to file police reports against Bullhorn Betty. This woman has wreaked chaos everywhere she goes. And I think that Jennifer Coffindaffer was just being nice when she said, oh, you know, she's been involved in a lot of cases. That's not promoting her. That's the truth. She has been involved in a lot of cases. She didn't say it, she was positive in them. It's what Jennifer didn't say that matters. And Bullhorn Betty wants to sit there and say, you know, she had her information wrong. I wish she would have explained everything to Joshua. Joshua already knew. He knew exactly what he was coming on there to talk about. He's a lawyer. He's not going to come into a conversation unprepared and not know what the topic is. Why even have him on? It makes no sense. But I think that JC tries to keep neutral. And what she doesn't say is what you have to hear. Because, you know, she is involved in a lot of cases, you know. That's not saying anything good. It's not saying anything bad. So Jen just stays neutral from how I see it. She brought that guy on because she knew that he would say, you know, morally this is wrong and legally this is wrong. And she wouldn't have to say it. Does YouTube prevent tips or does it prompt them? What does that mean? Tips. Is this the first family to stand up? As far as I know. Hey, Annie. Tennessee has road rage laws as well as leaving an automobile to engage in a confrontation with another driver. So she broke a law by doing that. I mean, I would say that's kind of dangerous to block traffic, to get out of your car, to go road rage and yell at someone. Meanwhile, you have a picture of his son on your shirt. That's a little stalking and harassing. The hearing's tomorrow, Auntie. She's trying to damage his credibility and threaten his license. All right, let's keep going.
This YouTuber made a video saying that I did nothing wrong. Everything you see, everything. My videos are up there. I've done nothing wrong. But I want to stress again, the judge is just not going to willy-nilly go, oh yeah, okay, here's a restraining order.
Exactly,
they have to
Trisha.
show cause.
Exactly.
Like you said, they're taking away this person's rights.
That's right. It's not an easy, burden to meet, especially on the temporary orders, because at the ex parte hearing, the other side is not even at that hearing, so they can't defend themselves. So to do it without their input is it has to be a big burden. And I don't know this. I've not been told this, but I have a feeling that law enforcement probably gave some sort of statement or something, or probably had some input in granting it.
So he thinks that there was a little more than what we know, because we don't know what Mr. Bowersox did after that confrontation. Mr. Bowersox could have went and filed a police report. And then when she said she had a pew-pew in her bra, or she said that the sheriff said, you should bring your pew-pew to Tennessee because of my crazy community. She's speaking for the sheriff of Sumner County. And then he dies. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Y'all, she spoke for the sheriff of Sumner County and he died like the next day. God almighty, that's creepy.
Jeepers.
I thought it's criminal. Where does she live? Isn't she threatening you in JLR, Rosie from Jersey? Yeah, I mean, she's threatened. She's defamed. Both sides get to get heard before a final issue. See, that's the thing. If she doesn't show up, if they've already granted the temporary and she doesn't show up to like state her case, I would say they assume that the petitioner's right. Yeah, that is fucking weird, isn't it? Yikes. R.I.P. to the Sumner County Sheriff. Kayla, Betty's going to get hers, just desserts in time. Kayla, he's waiting until things calm down. He's paying for another person, suing her in federal court for copyright. It's a process. I mean, if he's collected money and you donated, then I would reach out to him and ask him what's going on. I wouldn't talk shit about him. I would just reach out and say, hey, I donated to your legal fund. Like, can you give us an update? And if you didn't donate, then who cares? I thought about starting a legal fund because these people around here are fucking crazy. Betty, kill the sheriff. Oh my God. It is creepy though, if you think about it. The judge can extend if the defendant doesn't show. She probably wrote a letter or will write a letter or something. Who knows? And that's fine, Kayla. If your experience is that he's shady, that's your experience. That's your opinion. And you're free to have that. I've never really had any personal dealings with him. I've just seen him, throughout the years in cases. And I've never seen anything bad come out when he's been doing his private investigations. They do. Oh my God, that makes me think of NC with that 20K legal fund. Oh my God, 20K. I know. And it's a headache to sue people. It's not fun. It's really not. Then you have to go through depositions and you have to go through evidence and you have to testify, and it's just a headache. But that's her defense. That's where she comes at everybody. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. She thinks she's JLR Jr. I hope they set an example with her as well. Lala thinks that he's shady too. I don't have any personal dealings. He was crying on, like, literally? He was crying, like, really crying? I think he's a good guy. I feel bad for Queen Bee going through this. What a bunch of bullshit. I know. I wish TB filed a criminal complaint, but we don't. Where is that? No, what wasn't on live. Who's TB? Oh, Terry Bowersox. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that, Kayla. You think so, Cricket? Oh, he was whining, like complaining. I gotcha. Oh, thank you, Nursey. I did, Celestial Sky. When a judge has shown that she hasn't stopped the harassment and she knows about the PO, the judge will probably not give her any more time. That's another good point. He has you blocked because you asked a question. It is Danielle K. It's awful. Not after what he did in the Kiely Rodney case. I didn't see him do anything bad there. SF is the guy we're watching in the video. Let's get back to the video.
Well,
I felt it was a threat as well.
Yeah, and again, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And,
that's my advice, right?
When there are
right on,
many
Trish.
other people that will come out and say these things, you got to believe
this person has
multiple
pages of arrests for assault.
Yeah,
this woman does, and
right.
So, you know, including felony strangulation. And so, this person is a threat.
Well, and again, I don't know. We don't know exactly what the accusation is, and we may never know. But so now there's another hearing, and this will be the hearing to decide whether it will be permanent for how long, or how does that work?
They usually do them in either 6-month or 1-year increments, and then they can be renewed. I know, you know, most of the time these are domestic violence based.
Right.
So
right.
A lot of times they're a year, but I could see that being 6 months in this case, since it's not based in domestic violence. But I don't know, because I don't know what those. I've talked to Chris since this has happened, but he's not sharing information. So I think that it'll come out on the 8th. I think that'll become public record.
Right.
I honestly don't know what the exact allegations are. I did see some crazy clips for getting out of a vehicle and approaching his father, I believe it was.
Right.
Screaming and yelling, and so
yeah, it's scary. It really is scary. And but like you said, in this case, you know, they have absolutely caused this problem because of how they went about talking on the internet, basically, and causing all this drama in Sebastian's case. And Sebastian is the one that got lost in it. I mean, don't you agree?
I mean, when was the last time you saw a real search or effort? I mean, the people that were truly looking for him in a professional way have just, I think, well, we know they were told not to, but that didn't necessarily stop them. But I think you hit a point where you're just like, there's so many other people out there that are begging for help, you know. Why fight this thing? Now, I will say, I don't think she'd mind me saying it. I mean, I know Chloe's met with law enforcement, and there's talks about real law enforcement authorized searches with her leading a very professional team. So it's not like nothing's happening, but it's not going to be very public facing. I can tell you that. It would be a true search for him without much any publicity behind it until maybe it's over.
Well, and that's
So he's saying that Chloe is talking with law enforcement and Cricket, stop. And that they're going to do another search. And I heard that a while ago that they were going to do that in the fall. In the fall. My cooter is feeling very violated. Street Jacket Cooter. Hey, Tabby. They tried to serve her 2 or 3 times yesterday. Yeah, she's avoiding it. Bullhorn Betty does, Cricket.
That's good because the publicity is what caused all of these problems. And I never understood, and this is just my opinion. We had a hell of a time. Seth never came. Seth Rogers. We invited him, and this was before the big drama.
Listen to this, guys. Listen to this.
Invited him constantly, and he wouldn't come on our channel. But he would.
You hear that? Did you hear that? She invited him constantly, and he wouldn't go on her channel. Why, Seth? Chloe was the PI that was working with Seth that got chased away when Tony came on board.
What?
Gary. Lollipop Girl says I'm cutting in and out. No, it must be you, Lollipop. Lollipop, lollipop. Oh, lolly, 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 suck it. Cooter.
Would go on these crazy, weird little channels where all this drama was happening.
And now those are like have their own side dramas going on.
Yeah.
You know, where they found that like there's been manufactured stories in other cases, and it's just, you know, and these are people that also were involved in the Kiely Rodney case that were dragging me through that, you know, and now it's all starting to kind of implode on itself, you know, but it's the same cast of characters, and does a lot of harm for cases, you know, like you were saying in the intro about law enforcement being like, we don't want to deal with anybody. You know, I've got the entire Metro Nashville PD case file for Riley Strain. And there are pages from the detective talking about particular YouTubers. And
he said in the investigation for Riley Strain, there's pages and pages of them talking about YouTubers. You think he went on Web Sleuths because Chris did? I didn't know she invited him, and he said no. The dog in the corner, her name's Rue, and she thinks it's sus AF. You see that side eye? Misty says, Granny, we love you and Jay both. I think y'all do deserve each other for all the bestest reasons. Oh, Granny, what's up? Gary and SS were feeling a little guilty for being here and being up in the Cooterville. They felt like they were being disloyal to the Granny. Didn't Seth come on another channel a short while when CP? Yeah, that was on Web Sleuths. She like called him on the phone. As long as you're not hearing little children, you're good. Aw, thanks, Bonnie. He can't joke about sex on our channel or talk about, nasty shit. I just didn't realize that she had asked him several times and he wouldn't.
All the text messages that people sent the detective, like leads and stuff, I have them all, and it's just crazy how they badgered the detectives about the smiley face killer and about all this stuff.
Oh my God.
Over and over and over, to where they're just like, we can't handle it. We can't do any more press updates about this because we just get flooded with things that just aren't based in any reality. They told people, like, if you have a real lead, a real tip, like you really might have seen him, or you know somebody, like call us, but don't call us with stuff about psychics and theories. And some of these were, you know, they had to go out and actually meet with a couple of these people to tell them, like, listen, you gotta calm down. Or this is
Oh my.
Wow. So cooters, if you guys are feeling uncomfortable, I get it, guys and gals. I get it. But in my world, a cooter is like a redneck. I mean, wide open cooter. What'd you think it meant?
God almighty.
God, that's so mortifying.
Yeah. So I see why, you know, and that's why, and there's stuff in there where they talk about like, but there was 2 YouTubers in particular that they were talking about. They're like, you know,
Who?
you know, because as the investigator in that case, it was super frustrating as well because
And you were an investigator in Riley Strain's case, right?
that was his family's.
Welcome, Miss Liverbird.
So I just concluded that investigation with a 283-page report a couple of weeks ago, but we had 144 hours of surveillance video. I mean, we tracked him, we knew where he was, at all times, and and to hear then all of a sudden to see in real time live a YouTuber say it's been confirmed that a homeless guy was wearing Riley's shirt, and then
good Lord, no,
picking it up and being like, and I'm sitting here going, I know the truth. It's just really frustrating, and of course everybody grabs onto that, and including the family, because it's hard to wrap their head around what's happening,
Exactly.
Hi, Pearl.
It gets really out of hand. It gets dangerous, as far as cases go.
It really does. Everyone, we're talking with Steve Fischer, SF Investigates. I've been putting his YouTube channel, his X channel up there, his Twitter handle, and he has some amazing information. You post almost every day, if not every day, Steve, just interesting cases, and you've been involved in some very high-profile cases. And we're talking about the Sebastian Rogers case. So let's say hypothetically that this YouTuber that they have got the temporary restraining order against, and then they're going to go to court to offer their evidence. What if they can't serve this YouTuber, so she doesn't show up, or they serve her and she doesn't show up? What happens?
Well, so those are 2 different things. So if they can't serve her, I don't know exactly what the substituted service statutes are in Tennessee. Usually you can either have it left at the door of their main residence, or you can do it by certified mail sometimes.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. So there is alternatives. It just depends on what Tennessee statutes are on service. There can be like secondary or whatever he said it was. Cootering about? No, we will never say that, SS. Never. I don't like that. Y'all, yesterday I went and watched like a video. I wasn't on my premium thing, and an ad came up, and it was a Sandy Hook ad. I thought that was weird because I think we were just talking about AJ yesterday, and then I got a Sandy Hook ad. Do we know what time the court is tomorrow? I think it was on the thing. Who is this guy? His name's Steve Fischer, SF Investigates. For Ranky H, hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Good to see you.
No, sometimes it's different if it's tenants, you're serving it out of state. I did see on one of the petitions where I believe the Sumner County Sheriff's Department requested the assistance of the sheriff in Florida, where she lives, to help with service. But I don't know if service was made. Now, if it's not, she has gone on YouTube and talked about how she knows about this,
right?
And she knows the hearings of the 8th. Sometimes service can be perfected by the person knowing that.
Yes.
That it says. I don't know if that'll be the case. What
was that? Binocular Bobby? I didn't mean to hide her. I meant to time her out. There was a Bobby here. Bobby Brutzman said, "You're sick and disgusting. This is about a missing special needs child. What? Okay, Bobby. Damn it, Bobby. Damn it, Bobby. Why you gotta come in and ruin the vibe, Bobby? Thank you so much, Frankie. It's good to see you. Yeah, would you rather me say coochie? No, coochie's gross. I don't say coochie. Coochie is like saying panties. And no, we say undies and cooter. But you know what? Whatever her name was.
Fuck directly off.
Bobby.
My guess would be is that on the 8th, the other
Drop
parties will
off
show
the
up.
Kiely.
They'll extend the TRO, the temporary orders, another 2 weeks, and reset the hearing for 2 weeks to give more time to be served. And they'll probably talk about what will be considered substituted service. They'll probably say, listen, here's video evidence that she's acknowledged, that she knows about it. She knows the hearing date. The judge will probably say, listen, since she's out of state, we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, but my guess would be he'll extend the orders another 2 weeks. Service will be perfected and filed with the clerk, and then if she doesn't show up, then chances are the orders will become permanent, because they'll let her appear remotely. It's not like she has to come to Tennessee.
Right.
So it's, you know.
So when this happens, let's just say hypothetically that this is granted for 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that she can't even talk about them, or does it just mean she needs to stay physically away from them and not harass them online? What does that usually mean?
So I'm sure that this will be a stay away order. So it'll be she'll be able to talk. I'm certain. You know, they didn't file one in Sebastian's name, which they legally can do, even though he's missing, because they're a guardian. So they could have filed asking for protection against him. So she wouldn't be able.
And they still can. They still can. Don't think that this is over. If she keeps on and on and on, they could put one on Sebastian and she can't say his name. Oh, I know. Damn it, Bobby.
Able to talk about him. I think she'll be able to talk about the case, but she's not going to be able, I would think, to talk about Katie and Chris, although that's a little bit of a tricky one because that is news, you know,
and they're public figures now.
So I don't know how the judge will handle that. Now, definitely, if he grants it, they'll.
Okay, I'll tell you how he grants it. Taylor Swift has protection order against her stalker. It doesn't matter if they're public figures or not. It doesn't mean that you have the right to harass and stalk them. She can cover the case like a normal human being. Then she won't have any problems. Right?
Be a certain amount of feet or yards that they got to stay away, and they'll say that you can't go to either their places of employment, you can't go to where any of their kids go to school. There'll be certain things like that. As far as they'll probably say you can't make any threats to them, but I don't think it can prevent them from talking about the case because they're public, like you said, they're public figures now, and it's a public case.
Well, and will we know anything about this, or is this all going to be totally, we won't have any public information?
So the hearing, because these are in family court, the hearing will not be open to the public, but the results and the filing itself then should become public record after it's completed.
Okay.
Now, they could have asked to seal it because of the circumstances, but they usually, especially in Tennessee is very open.
I just think he's guessing. I mean, I don't think he's saying this is what's going to happen. No one really knows because, you know, ultimately it's up to a judge. Thank you so much, Frankie, for gifting a membership that was so sweet and kind of you. And welcome Seymour Ignorance. Our little potato welcomes you in with her tinfoil hat. Thanks so much, Frankie, and it's great to see you.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Eve Loves God says, what threat did she make? We don't know if she made any threat. We don't know what the situation is. We just know that Katie Proudfoot and Chris's parents have filed for this protection. So that's what's going on there. What do you think happened to Sebastian?
Okay, now his theory, and this is interesting here.
I think he got overstimulated. With autism, it's very easy to do. I think he ran away, and I think he is within half a mile of the house.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's in those woods to the north of the house.
He thinks that he walked away and succumbed in the woods about a half mile away. And that he succumbed in the woods and they just haven't found him yet. But meanwhile, we have this magically delicious Silver's on the scene going down by frickin' Chattanooga. Let me play that part again. He said it's very simple. He thinks he ran away.
And I think he is within half a mile of the house.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's in those woods to the north of the house.
And you think he's
sick right now? I think
he's deceased.
He says, I think it's thick right now. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Who donated those? Aunt Kathy's story time. Thank you so much, Aunt Kathy. My new Aunt Kathy. Welcome, new members. Look at that. Regina got one. Granny got one. Sushi got one. Note to self got one. Nicole B. Thank you so much. Wow, making it rain. Siobhan. Hey, Siobhan. Good to see you. You have to allow gifts, guys. The woods to the part are not even a half mile mostly to the highway. This is woods to the north, you mean? Oh, I know. She thinks that that JLR is teaming up with everyone. She thinks he's behind everything. Well, I guess we're going to have to go on the maps after this and look at what's north of their home. Because there was a scent. It just did not lead them to where Sebastian is. Right? How do you turn on to get a gift? I don't know. Maybe someone in chat can let you guys know. Thank you, Aunt Kathy.
Unfortunately, I think that he just it's so common with autistic kids. We have so much of this in search and rescue, and I know it seems like you have the dogs out there and everything, but it is so easy to miss somebody.
Just help a brother out,
especially in woods that thick. And I think that he was doing some things where he was getting in these cocooning type of behaviors where.
So he says he talks to Chris. So I have to assume he got this information from Chris. He says that Sebastian was doing these things, cocooning type of behaviors. And that's the first I've heard of this. Have you guys heard of this? Hey, Robin, welcome in. Hey, Michael McAllister. Silver is not the best one. Are you kidding me, Michael? Silver, who takes his freaking live stream or his video to buy a shovel to dig up human remains? Get out of here. Mia, welcome, member Cooter. He thinks he got, Peter Hyatt, he thinks he got locked out. With LE going back in the fall when foliage falls makes one wonder if they think that way too. Exactly, Val. That's what I'm thinking. Have you ever heard them say that? Here, okay, let me go back. He was doing cocooning type behaviors. I think it's where you kind of get in like the fetal, right? You kind of like.
Happen. I wish that it was an abduction, you know. I did hold out hope for that for a long time. It's just been too long now, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, stranger things have happened. I always go back to
Yeah.
Elizabeth Smart, so we can
She
always
was right
hope.
there.
Yeah, she was right there, but we can always hope. And
Did I not go back far enough?
North of the house.
And you
they're
think
very
he's
thick right now. I think
he's deceased?
I think he deceased. Unfortunately, I think that he just it's so common with autistic kids. We have so much of this in search and rescue, and I know it seems like you have the dogs out there and everything, but it is so easy to miss somebody that's deceased, especially in woods that thick. And I think that he was doing some things where he was getting in these cocooning type of behaviors where he liked getting in small spaces. And so I think that's unfortunate. I think that is what happened. I wish that it was an abduction, I did hold out hope for that for a long time. It's just been too long now, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, stranger things have happened. I always go back to
Yeah.
Elizabeth Smart, so we can
She
always
was right
hope.
there.
Yeah, she was right there, but we can always hope and, just keep our fingers crossed and see. But, the
And
odds.
I truly do hope that is the case.
Yeah, I know you do.
Just
we all do.
I just think thinking statistically, I know that there's there's certain things I know that I shouldn't say, but I hope that it is an abduction.
There's certain things he knows that he shouldn't say. It sounds like he knows more about Sebastian from Chris than we do. If he cocooned out in the woods and then it filled in the spring and they hadn't found him, I just don't know where he would have cocooned. Maybe in one of those caves, but if the cops couldn't even get into the caves, how could Sebastian? And I don't know why you'd say I know things I shouldn't say. Right, Kathleen, and can Chris be trusted? No, none of them can. It says cocooning can refer to staying at home, surrounding oneself with comforts, per Google. Thanks, Tiffany. And Tiffany, thanks for sending Queen those links yesterday. This case is like trying to do a crossword puzzle. It has no correct answers. In a tree. Seth said he liked to play his Switch under the bed. Yeah, we've just never heard of it referred to as cocooning. Unless the cave collapsed after. They didn't go in because it wasn't safe. It makes me think of Harley Dilly. Thanks, Tiff. Chris can be trusted more than Seth, says SS in his opinion. When did he say that? Are you nuts? When did he say that cops were at Seth's 2 weeks before Sebastian went missing? I want to be a butterfly too. Yeah, I don't know why he would say something like that. Let's see what the context was when he wanted to say something that he couldn't.
Happen. I wish that it was an abduction, I did hold out.
Oh, yeah, he also is close with Chloe. So it doesn't necessarily mean it came from Chris. That's true. YouTube troll just subscribed, FYI. Cocoon is an interesting word.
Hope for that for a long time. It's just been too long now, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, stranger things have happened. I always go back to
Yeah.
Elizabeth Smart, so we can
She
always
was right
hope.
there.
Yeah, she was right there, but we can always hope and we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see. But the
And I
odds.
truly do hope that is the case.
Yeah, I know you
I
do.
just
We all do.
I just think thinking statistically, I know that there's there's certain things I know that I shouldn't say, but I hope that it is an abduction. It's so hard to keep a child hidden like that. But then, like you said, Elizabeth Smart. I mean, how does that happen? I
Just
mean, she
help a
was
brother
literally in the
out.
same city, So
Right.
yeah.
I hear you.
And if anything crazy is going to happen, if there's going to be a crazy outcome in the case, it's going to be this case.
Well, that's true, because it has just been absolutely nuts. Absolutely
Yes.
nuts. Everyone, we're talking with SF Investigate, Steve Fischer. He's been on our program many times. He's a private investigator. He has worked with the family of Riley Strain. Did you work with the family of oh God, my mind just went blank.
Muted looking ass. What the fuck?
La 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 la. You don't hold a count.
Muted fucking cooter. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I asked for a pop and I muted so I didn't scream in y'all's ears, and then I forgot to unmute. I don't even know what the fuck I said. The caves. Oh, I said they're going to talk about Kiely Rodney now. I said it wasn't a lot of information, but I think it's interesting that, he gets information from Chloe. We know that they're close. And then also he's spoken to Chris. And it sounded like he spoke to Chris after these PPOs were filed. I'm so sorry. Muted cooter. I'm unmuted cooter now. No lip reading cooters here. He did hide under the car. Nobody even noticed you were muted. It's so sad. Should we just open up a chat room for everybody to just chat? God almighty.
God almighty.
I don't know about SF, but I do know anyone can get a private investigator, only required $100 for credentials in a 3-day online course. They have the same investigative abilities as anyone. You're right. You're totally right. I mean, you don't have to have any kind of special training or anything to be an investigator, but you do have a reputation. That's what you build your investigative business on, right? That's what you would gain on your reputation, word of mouth, people seeing the outcomes of cases you've worked on. You have to earn that trust. You have to earn that reputation. Nope. It's gonna be May. It was May. It was May. Hey, Michael Vincent, or Michelle Vincent, sorry.
Roly poly, daddy's little Betty. Betty's gonna be a man someday.
You don't think Chloe knew anything about the case? I don't know. I disagree with that, I think. I think she does. Take 'em right meow, Blobfish. Blobfish Betty. Wanting $5,000 retainer for a couple of weeks. It's okay to stay positive, Cheyenne. I know I'm Michelle. I'm sorry I called you Michael. I felt like Chris Proudfoot. His name's Michelle. He's French, but they call him Michelle. I call him Michael. Remember that when he said that about the dog handler? His name's Michelle. He's French, but I call him Michael. Oh, when she was on Web Sleuth, that was weird. It seemed like she perpetuated that drama about Miss Bowersox. Richard's like, it's okay to say sexually. She's sexually frustrated. Yeah, it's crystal clear. It is crystal clear. So I don't know. I mean,
I want this to be crystal clear.
I think Chloe got too close to info involving good old Seth and he let her go. Same. And he also said Chloe is working with law enforcement to plan a search with them. So I'm assuming they're probably going to go to that area he was just talking about. All right, let's look at Google Maps. We're not going to go look at Gray Hughes, but we're going to look at Google Maps. And let's look at what's north of the house, a half mile. Because he specifically said that, and I'm curious. So welcome to the beach. We're gonna fly here from Treasure Island Beach over to Stafford Court. I don't even know if I have is it 1108? We're gonna go there. Let's see. So he's probably talking about that little cluster up there. Probably up in here. What do you guys think? You love it when I do the map thingy? Dusty old cooter, she has to actually get her ass out there. She won't find anybody. I don't know how to measure SS. I'm not that sophisticated with maps. But here's the construction site right here. And then if we go north, I mean, how far could he have gone? Let's take a look at what this looks like out here. Oh my God, yeah, look at those trees. Look how thick all that is. I see what he means now. Like if someone was hunkered down in there and then all the foliage grew, which would mean like weeds and grass. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be weird. Oh, thanks, Cricket. In the Sebastian channel. North of construction site is woods too. It is very thick. I mean, if you look at the... Let's go back out. That's that area. So here's the construction site right here. Okay. And if we go north, I mean, there's a lot of woods all the way to Hogan's Branch, like this whole area. Let's see if we can step down on High Cliff and see what it's like down here. There's a lot of homes, too. This is like a neighborhood. I mean, that's what they were saying, though, right? Check your properties and shit. Doodle Hollow. Okay, let's go back over here and go down to this road. See how thick that is? I mean, walking through that. Granted, there's a house there, but look at these woods. Even just on someone's driveway, it's very thick. Yeah, but then when spring came, it would start to... Chris was scratched up. Mm-hmm. Oh, where is the power lines? That's interesting. I've seen that in a lot of cases where power lines have like an easement and people walk on those. Where are those at, though? I don't see the power lines, SS. I see like an easement way over here. I see one up here, that line, but... So... Are we thinking then, let me zoom out a little bit. Are we thinking then it would be between Long Hollow Pike and Long Hollow? There's the New Hope Baptist Church where they had the first vigil. I mean, you've got this right here, too, by the school. You know what I would like to know? I would like to know if Sebastian ever walked to the school. I would like to know if he ever walked over to the school. I mean, these are all houses. But look, all in the middle there. And it's not that far. Shackle Island, Long Hollow Pike, Center Point Road, and Shackle Island Road. This area. That's where they think he is, in that treed area right there. Wouldn't he have been seen by someone before spring, like in March? I mean, they did go back and do another canvas, too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible. They've searched places and not found people before. But, I mean, these are all... But if you look across the street, look at that. It's all woods. Behind these homes, you know. I don't know what to make of it. It is. It's like a new mystery every day that pops up. Like something new, something weird, something strange, something exploitive, something, I don't know. But it is heavily wooded. I get it. I get it. I get it. So they want to wait until fall when these leaves clear out and then go look again. It's just a damn shame. It really is. I've thought about this case a great deal and spent time looking at the topography of the area, not just the satellite map. I trust you. So SS, are you saying You don't believe that he's in these woods? I think Katie said he walked to the bus stop at some weird hour in the morning, 6 or something. So how did he walk out of the home previously and Katie gets up before he's gone? I think the bus picked him up right there at the house. Out here sharing clickbait, unreal. Who's sharing clickbait? You can see through the woods in the fall and winter. What if a transient killer? What's the matter? Why are you guys so bent about the map? You'd rather be watching Betty? It's just thick on the edges. I don't know, guys. Then why can't they find him? Why can't they find him?
Dawned over all.
Y'all are freaking me out. What are you all freaked out about? No one's going to get reported. If you don't like what someone is saying, just block them. I don't know what you're talking about, clickbait. You don't think anyone could get lost in those particular woods and perish? Maybe the ones to the other side, but those to the north have too many easy paths of egress to someone young in shape. I don't think he would go without shoes. What? Sarah, Sarah? Who's we? We love GH. Sorry, Jay. Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket? The fuck is everyone mad about? I'm so confused. Yeah, someone's pissed off that I went and looked at the fucking property? He may never be found. I don't know who's freaking out. Well, yeah, if he got too cold. What if he fell and hurt himself? I don't know. Y'all are tripping me out. Remember Baby Joe? He was never found. Are there any old wells or septic tanks? They said they checked them. I didn't even see what happened. I was just like, what? The royal queen, we? Sarah, Sarah, I think you're on your own with that one. What is happening? Oh my God, stop. Y'all, chat got weird for a second. I think they're talking about JLR and his title about Seth. Weeping Waters says because they're looking on ground and water, they need to look in for tree houses, hunting blinds. Sebastian liked to climb as well as dark places. How do we know he liked to climb, though? Just because of the playground? I was looking at the map, too. I don't think it's clickbait because Seth went on with Vinnie Politan last night and said he was still a suspect. So how is that clickbait? Seth says, I'm scared. Hold me. Hold me. Reminds me of when Savage says, Val. Val. No, it's not clickbait because he said he was a suspect on last night's show. How is that clickbait? No, I didn't see it yet, but we can watch it. Do you guys want to watch it? Oh, leave Daddy Craddock alone. Right. Seth said it and JLR typed it. Oh, man. Y'all get pissed off about anything. Seth! Don't say that about Seth! I know. I'm just going to start saying, Val! Val! Craddock needs to step down. Craddock just got promoted to sheriff. Craddock's the big daddy now. Val is just, we're just going to call out for Val from now on. One-Eyed Flo thinks that Sebastian was running wild anytime he wanted. Vinny got all uncomfortable. Vinny does not have a good poker face. Okay, let's watch it. Is it on Court TV? Is Dick Talk Tony on there too? New info, Seth suspect Sebastian Rogers. It is new info. It's a new interview. Seth is a suspect, and the child is Sebastian Rogers. It's not clickbait. If you got to think about it that hard, it's definitely not clickbait. Clickbait is pretty obvious. It must be on their website. Vinny. Let's see where we are here. Oh, Trinity Bostic, the girl from Hendersonville, her murderer will be tried as an adult, and he's 17. Michael McAllister, yes, he is. None of them are cleared. Vinny cut off Tony mid-sentence and ended the stream. Okay. Clickbait would be Seth isn't a... Yeah, clickbait would be Seth is cleared. Where can I find this interview? Anybody know? I appreciate you too, Aunt Key. Well, where can I watch it? Here it is. Is this it? Is this it? Is this the new one? Oh, shiz.
Full neighborhood in Henderson. There is an unsolved mystery. It was a Sunday night going into a Monday morning, and 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was supposed to be inside his home sleeping. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, says he went to bed at 9, but was making some noise around 10, including a thud sound. Katie told him to go to sleep. She went to bed at midnight. Then at 6 a.m., Katie woke up. She went to his room to get him ready for school.
I'll probably get struck for that part. Let's just get right to the meat and potatoes here.
February 26th, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. February 26th. That's the last time he has been seen. So what's going on right now? You know, we profile missing children all the time, every night. So my question right now is anyone still searching for Sebastian? Let me bring in my special guest, someone I know is still searching. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, is with us, and also joining us, the Rogers family spokesperson, Tony Mathis.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Thank you both for being
on my
here.
soul.
Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and the opportunity to speak about Sebastian. Seth, let me begin with you. Is anyone still searching for your missing son?
I am. I have a private investigator that's still working on it. She conducts her searches in private. She has her own volunteer base. We're not going to stop until we find it.
Let me ask you this, Seth. Outside of what you are doing, is this search still active? Let's talk about law enforcement.
From my understanding, law enforcement is still searching.
Tony has a headboard behind him. So headboard Betty and headboard Tony.
They're doing it privately as well. They're checking in on tips when they come in.
You don't know.
If we get tips, we pass them on to them. Same time we get them.
And how is that part going with tips? Are people still providing information when they come across things? And what are your thoughts about?
We still get information. I mean, we still get emails every day. We have a tip site that is up. My PI put that up. It's a valid tip site.
His PI put up the tip site? Granny, did you talk to Seth's PI? Did Seth's PI give you an earful of misinformation? His PI set up the tip line. Oh my God. What?
I want this to be crystal clear.
I know. Get up out that bed.
For anybody who wants to email or call, wants to be anonymous or whatnot.
Tony, I wanted to bring you in the conversation. This is a difficult situation. And I understand the onslaught of public attention that this has gotten. And sometimes that's a big positive in keeping Sebastian's face in the public and getting people to know who he is and think about him. And if they see something, hopefully say something. But obviously there can be downsides as well. How is all of this publicity, from your perspective, impacting the search for Sebastian?
Well, we don't really believe that any of the media attention, social media attention, any of that is really going to impact what law enforcement's doing one way or another. It does.
Oh, so that's why he fucks around online, is because he doesn't think it's going to affect law enforcement one way or the other. And we just heard SF Investigates talk about the pages and pages of bullshit that the cops had to sift through in the Riley Strain case. What'd they say, Music City?
Impact the father, that I represent, Seth. We thank all the creators out there that continue to keep Sebastian's name out and do it in a positive way. Our message to most of the media attention, more social media than mainstream, is that we ask that you cover the case in a positive way. If you choose not to do that and back away, that's okay too. But any positive support that we can get for Seth while he's looking for his son is a big deal for us.
And
okay, that was weird as fuck. If you want to back away, you're free to do that too. Is he the God of us all? Does he tell us what to do? He is a praying mantis. Terry Lynn is Seth's PI? I've never heard that before, ever. I sent you the share link from Facebook video to your email. What video? Weeping. Thank you.
And Seth, I know that during the course of all of this, there have been some potential leads that became very public, including a photograph of someone who seemed to resemble Sebastian at a rest stop in, I believe, North Carolina. How are you holding up through all of this, and where's your level of optimism right now?
I think that's a lamp in his Airbnb. It's a lamp made out of an old fucking pitcher and thing that they used to use as a sink, a dry sink, or whatever the fuck they call them.
I have faith. I have hope. Sebastian's alive. We just got to find him. There is nothing else. Just finding Sebastian.
Tony, I wanted to get you in on this as well, in terms of as a family spokesperson, do you feel that there is still the same level of, I guess, commitment from everyone, the community, law enforcement, media, to make sure that anything and everything is done to find this missing child?
Well, Vinny, I think that it's our job to keep his name out there in the community. All of our job on Seth's team, and of course I represent just Seth.
Seth?
You know, it's all of our jobs on his team to keep the community engaged. We continue to have events, have vigils, have gatherings, keep his name out there. The media, mainstream media, such as yourself and many others, have been very good and very helpful. It's very easy to get interviews if Seth feels up to doing an interview. I think the X factor for us is law enforcement. I think that the communication, it's been a bit lacking, at least as far as Seth and I are concerned.
Wait. He's back to this? He's back to now they're not communicating? We went from they were to they weren't to the communication's good again. And now the communication could be better again. AKA, they're not going to tell you guys shit. They're not going to tell you guys shit.
You know, we don't really know what it is they're doing. We have faith. We heavily back the blue. Of course, you know, Seth is in law enforcement. I live in Oklahoma. We strongly back the blue in my community. But, you know, the question that I always ask that we still haven't got an answer to is, you know, just simply tell Seth, are you any closer today to figuring out what happened to Sebastian than you were on February 26th?
That's his ultimate question. That's the $1 million question. Are you any closer to finding Sebastian than you were on February 26th? Lady for Justice, who cares about lamps, gossip, and bullshit? It's about Sebastian. Well, we can care about lamps, gossip, and bullshit and still care about Sebastian. Yep. That same question he says in every interview.
Then, quite frankly, we feel like that's a very fair and logical question. We have not got an answer to that.
That has to be absolutely excruciating. By the way, folks, as you watch, you'll see on the bottom of the screen numbers and places you can contact if you have any information. Seth, how are you holding up? I'm always concerned about you going through this. I've spoken with other parents through the years. I got a strong sense from them what it can be like. How are you holding up?
It's more like 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. You know, it doesn't really seem like it's been 5 months. It's just you lose track of time. I mean, all you're doing is thinking about the next place to go look, what the next thing needs to be done, and just trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused on finding my son and what's the next step to do.
Ange Carter, I disagree. I don't think they ever gave Seth any information. He was kicked out of the command center, which was in the first 72 hours. I don't think they ever gave him shit. Val. Jay, do you think it's possible they gave investigators items that did not have Sebastian's scent on it So that's why the dogs didn't hit anywhere. I thought of that early on, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when Vinny is being told, he's not a dummy. When Vinny's being told, the cops aren't talking to the father of a missing kid, I'm sure he's like, it's 5 months in, dude, and there's not giving you shit, and you're not cleared. Michael, why do you not like Craddock?
What's been the biggest frustration for you so far in the search?
Not getting much in terms of information-wise. The last thing that I was really informed of by the sheriff's office is they don't have anything stating that he left the house. And that's pretty much, that's it. But obviously he's not there, or else we wouldn't be looking for him. There's no sightings. There's nothing. Just went poof.
Just went poof. Why is he saying that now? Just went poof. Lady for Justice, with all respect, it wasn't a meeting that they were having. It wasn't a meeting of the minds. It was law enforcement searching for Sebastian, doing grid searches, extensive searches, and they had to kick him out.
Things just don't make sense. I mean, we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about a male child.
What are we looking at?
House with nothing.
What kind of footage is this? What are we looking at? Who are these people? And where are they looking? What is this? This doesn't even look like Sebastian's case. Where is this? What the fuck are they playing? I'm confused. Y'all know where this is? Ooh. Like that arm being up too. That shoulder must feel better. Where is that, y'all? Or is it the footage just not matching up with what they're showing?
I mean, we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about a male child that left his house with nothing. A teenager that left the house with nothing. No
Whose
phone,
house is that?
No switch, possibly no shoes, no backpack. I mean, completely unprepared. That's
no money.
It's not how he leaves the house to go somewhere with me.
Did you hear Tony? No money. The first week of Sebastian's search? I never saw that
Phone,
footage.
No switch, possibly no shoes, no backpack. I mean, completely unprepared. That's
no money.
It's not how he leaves the house to go somewhere with me. I don't expect him to leave anywhere without his phone and way of communication in case something happens. It just, too much doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, stand by, stay with us. When we come back,
there's more.
We have another question to ask tonight. Was Sebastian's mom the last person to see him?
Beginning of the investigation, but go to sleep. And
Who was with him? Was there anyone with him at that moment? They're in the same house, different parts of the house. She heard a thud noise, but didn't go to see him. But what was going on with that alleged thud noise, and who was with him? Was there anyone with him at that moment? Or, bringing me to my next question, was Sebastian's mother the last person to see him? Was she the last one? Was there someone else that came to the house that night? Or is there some other story? Our guests are still with us. Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and Tony Mathis, the family spokesperson. Seth, from your perspective, I know you've listened to every potential piece of information that's been available in this case, that's been made available. To me, that thud noise, I've always thought about that, what that could have been if it happened, right? What are your thoughts about Sebastian's mom? Do you believe she's the last person to see Sebastian before he disappeared?
I'd say yes. I mean, he was in her house. She's the one that put him to bed. She'd be the last person to have seen him.
What do you think about that thud noise that she described, the rustling that was going on? I thought about it. I've looked at the house. His room is on the first floor, right? So his window is accessible from the outside?
It would be, I believe, but I know law enforcement went around the house and stated that none of the windows or screens had been tampered with. So, as for the thud, I mean, I don't know what she would classify as a thud. If I heard something in his room I know I'd go check on him, just because I want to make sure he's okay. I mean, he's got a medical condition that would definitely mean I need to go check on him just to make sure he's okay.
And have you spoken with his mom about that night at all? Have you had any sort of conversation, either just the two of you or with other people there?
Have not had a conversation with her just alone, and
you won't.
Probably won't.
Didn't think so.
Why is that?
Because every time I want to speak to her, I'm going to have to speak to Chris. Chris wasn't there. I don't know why he needs to be involved in a conversation about what happened that night.
Oh! Hold on.
And if he was on a phone call, then maybe he can tell us what the thud was.
Hold on. Here we have again. He wants to talk to Katie alone. Why? He didn't have a problem talking to Chris, quote unquote, every day while they were, quote unquote, working on a plan to get Katie to let Sebastian go live with him. What is he talking about? And it's like I said, did Seth do this because he thought this would be alone time with Katie as well? Not did he do this because, but does he do this does he have it in his mind like Sebastian went missing and it's gonna be us, hand in hand, arm in arm, looking for our son together? Everything's about Katie and I can't talk to her alone because then I have to talk to Chris. It's her husband. Maybe this is why Katie left the house.
How about the rest of the day leading up to the point that Sebastian got home? Who was the last person other than his mom to see him? And have you spoken with that person?
No, I guess the last person to see him besides his mom would be, the waitress at at Texas Roadhouse.
And Tony, as we try to track and figure out who interacted with Sebastian, where he could have gone, how this could have happened, from your perspective, what is the What are the lingering questions that you see in this case as well?
Well, if you're talking about that situation specifically, Vinny, I mean, clearly she was the last person that was seen with him. There has been no evidence that he ever left the house on his own. So in my mind, what would be the opposite of him leaving the house on his own? It would be leaving the house with somebody. Well, the only somebody, admittingly, by Katie that was in that house was her. So clearly we have some questions there. But my bigger question as Seth's spokesperson, and where I would ask Court TV to give us some assistance is, we have video evidence that shows that Seth was at work. We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped. We'd like to know why Seth still hasn't been cleared, or what they might need from Seth and or myself to get him cleared.
So they have not cleared Seth? I didn't realize that. I just didn't realize that was the situation. So
Vinny's world just came crashing down. Watch.
I just didn't realize that was the situation.
He's
so
like, what the
not
fuck?
at all.
So my guess is if they haven't cleared him, that may explain some of the lack of communication that is going back and forth in this case.
Good possibility. But what more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7 a.m. the next morning. My son should be with me right now. He should be in this house, and I should not be looking for him. Tell me where I don't gain anything from this. This is not funny. The fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? Do they need my bank records? You can have them. I don't understand what I have to do to get cleared.
We're willing to do anything to get him cleared, Vinny.
Go ahead, Tony.
There are resources.
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared, because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. If
bring in more resources,
the phone data and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, why is it that he hasn't been cleared? He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher.
Absolutely.
Vinny's like, if you were cleared, they would let you know. Like
Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So,
we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both for joining us. We'll still look for those answers as the investigation continues.
Oh, damn. He cut that quick. Is that the end of it? Are the guests gone? Oh, wait a minute. That ended weird and abruptly. So from the minute that he said he wasn't cleared, this interview went on what? Another minute? But they were probably given 20 minutes because that's right at the 20-minute mark, but he did end it abruptly.
I just didn't realize that was the situation. So
not at all.
So my guess is if they haven't cleared him, that may explain some of the lack of communication that is going back and forth in this case.
Good possibility. But what more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7
What is
a.m.
Tony
the next
doing?
morning.
He's like,
my son should be with me right now. He should be in the.
Okay, but what does this have to do with him being cleared? I was on video camera from 6 p.m. to after 7. And then he's like, my son should be with me. I shouldn't have to be looking for him. Cheesy. Court TV lawyers probably said, cut his mic. Cut his mic. Nancy Grace called him up and said,
Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
You mentioned Nancy Grace.
Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
This house, and I should not be looking for him. Tell me where I don't gain anything from this. This is not funny.
Okay, first of all, no one said you gained anything. You just threw that in there. So that tells me that you're gaining something because no one said anything about you gaining anything. Why would that even come out of your mouth? Have you seen my son? This is what he looks like. Where's that? Where's that?
The devil is dancing tonight.
Where's that? Not once. Oh, he should be here with me right now. But he doesn't say, have you seen him? Here's what he looks like. I don't gain anything from this. It's not funny. As he sits on panels talking about masturbating and laughing. If anyone has given the impression that you think anything's funny, it's you, Seth. You've given that impression.
You know, the fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? Do they need my bank records?
My banco records? You took my electronics. I know. Why does Tony sit there with his eyes closed, letting him bury himself? Fuck is going on? The fuck is going on, Tony? We'll do anything to get him cleared. We need help from Court TV. Court TV is going to call the Sumner County Sheriff and say, listen, Seth Rogers took a polygraph with Nancy Grace, and he's on Vinny, and he says, his son should be with him. Y'all need to clear this guy because, Tony Mathis has the $1 million question. He's had it for 3 months. Can you guys talk to this motherfucker?
You can have them. I don't understand what I have to do to get cleared.
We're willing to do anything to get him cleared, Vinny.
Go ahead, Tony.
There are resources.
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. And if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, why is it that he hasn't been cleared? He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher that Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So,
I think they added that shit in, and I don't think that was part of the show. Guys, I don't think that was part of the show. Because they started playing that music while Tony was still talking. I don't think this whole cleared business was part of the show. I can't see them allowing Tony to have that message. Do you guys think so? Oh, I know, Dusty Old Cooter. Do you guys think that they kind of threw that in? Mrs. Information says Court TV producers did not like that he's a suspect still. Maybe they can't clear them. Maybe they truly can't clear them. That didn't seem like a flow of the show. You know what I mean? Like usually it's, they're going to wrap it up, the tip line and all this stuff. And then they threw that tip line in there too. I think Vinny was caught off guard too, you guys. That's weird. I wonder if they'll be asked back on. I don't think this business was, I don't think they knew this. He knew this was going to happen.
Not at all.
So my guess is if they haven't cleared him, that may explain some of the lack of communication that is going back and forth in this case.
Good possibility. But what more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7 a.m. the next morning. My son should be with me right now. He should be in this house, and I should not be looking for him. Tell me where I don't gain anything from this. This is not funny. The fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? Do they need my bank records? You can have them. I don't understand what I have to do to get cleared.
We're willing to do anything to get it cleared, Vinny.
Go ahead, Tony.
There are
white boys.
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared, because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. And if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, why is it that he hasn't been cleared? He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher that Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So,
we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both for joining us. We'll still look for those answers as the investigation continues.
Oh yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
So hot it hurts.
Wow. Something ain't right, says Sage. Yeah, I don't think they, yeah, gotta go. Bye. We're not entertaining any suspects. No one is clear. No one has been officially named. No, maybe not officially named, but they have no suspects and they haven't cleared the parents. Their goal was to go on there and ask to get cleared instead of making it about Sebastian, in my opinion, says Kels. Vinny might dig into it. Yeah, runs with scissors. Well, I think that Seth has been taken at face value. I mean, we all did that in the beginning. We all took, everybody in at face value, especially Seth. I didn't even think anything of him until later on. I started getting red flags. How's about staying off the interwebs and associating with TikTok Tony? That's good advice. The wells aren't cleared either, fool. Court TV putting up a private tip line. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That's not the private tip line. That's the Sumner County Sheriff. They let them mention the tip line, but the information line on here was the Sheriff Department. 615-451-3838. But they let him say we have our own tip line. That was in the beginning. We got our own tip line. My PI set it up. I think all this fits into that definition of insanity, repeating the same old crap. Bank of records? Katie isn't looking for her own son either, and she has also laughed in interviews while mentioning Sebastian being missing. This isn't about Katie. Last I looked, this was an interview of Seth. And I don't know what the fuck Katie's done. I don't know what she's done or hasn't done. This was last night, True Crime Knitter. Law enforcement has not made him a suspect. He's making himself the victim. Yeah, he's not the victim. Nope, they haven't cleared anyone in Summer's case. I mean, in all honesty, we don't know what Katie's doing. Because Katie has been had to leave the home because she was scared. And now she's got PPO thing tomorrow. I mean, if they're not cleared, that tells you that they're not cleared. It means that it's possible that they're involved. Katie laughed, okay, and Seth pretending to pound his... Yeah, Seth is inappropriate. But I'm not comparing anyone. I mean, I'd love to hear from all the parents. I'd love to see all three of them, like the Petitos and the Schmitz did, and stand there united for Sebastian, but they can't because none of them are mature enough to fucking do it. And if Sebastian ran away, that's probably fucking why. What's up, Chell? And why would Katie be searching anyway? Where is she supposed to search? I mean, who cares? The summary says the Delphi case is being discussed. So tell me, what kind of resources can Seth get if he's cleared? Yes, exactly, Val. What resources? Lady for Justice, what's your deal today, dude? What is your deal today? You seem really moody. Like, what's going on?
It's in the water. What the f?
Yeah, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, or TBI. What's on my screen? Oh, that's their video. Weird. I thought they did all work together until Seth came here bad-mouthing the hell out of them. No. No. Chris told Seth to kick it, to hit it on day 3. Oh, they want the cold case foundation? It's not a cold case yet, is it? It's only been 5 months. Let's see what these experts say. So they got Chris McDonough. Look at Chris's hair. Schlick, my man. Do you know that? Oh, never mind. I want to know whose house this is they're searching at. If y'all say these are the beginning searches. All right, let's see what these questions are.
Revealed that would be significant in trying to answer that question.
Well, the first thing, Vinny, is whenever a child goes missing, you have about 3 hours from a law enforcement perspective to react. And that means, shut the scene down.
Are his arms not in his jacket? It looks like his arms aren't in his jacket.
Shut the house down because, statistically across this country, there's what they call the victim risk continuum. And the lower the risk, the higher the probability that there was, some type of cross germination to either a suspect and or, a risk activity that put the child in jeopardy. Let's use Elizabeth Smart for an example. She's sleeping in her room. All of a sudden, she disappears out of her house. In this particular case, you have mom who says, I saw him go to bed. I heard a thump. I went to bed. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, he's gone. Well, children just don't vanish. So what are the probabilities, based on what the doc just said, that that could be reality? So as an investigation, you want to start in the house. You want to start with everybody in the house, everybody related to the house, and then search the neighborhood. And you'll be surprised with today's technology how the circle gets smaller, smaller, and smaller. So those are a couple of things that I think this investigation started, and it looks like they did a pretty good job based on the filming that I've seen.
Now, Sebastian's dad joined the Pascal Show on YouTube and discussed what law enforcement's dog handlers told him about the search for Sebastian.
One dog.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean he was outed by TBI? TBI has never come out and outed anybody. What do you mean? What do you mean TBI outed Chris McDonough, whether you like him or not? What do you mean by that? I've never seen, I can't watch Pascal. I'm sorry. Just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. Who's this lady? I just want to see what else Chris has to say.
Dad told me on a previous program about Sebastian just walking out of the house.
It doesn't seem like my son at all. He would never leave my house in the middle of the night barefoot, and if he did, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. You know, we've left in the middle of the night. There's been times that we've gone fishing in the middle of the night. You know, we plan that sort of stuff. But him walking out the door in the middle of the night, no. It's not something he would do. It's something he's never done on me.
Chris, for him to walk out in the middle of the night, I think it would take him to be lured by someone. And if that's the case, there would seemingly be some digital trail and perhaps a physical trail of that.
Yeah, absolutely, Vinny, and you're 1,000% correct. And that digital footprint by this point, you know, we're almost 6 months into this, and let's also take into consideration we have a child on the spectrum scale. He's on medication. So, you know, if he's lured out of that house, then, you know, the suspect is taking a risk, number one, within a very short period of time. If the victim starts to have withdrawals or anything on that medication, you know, that's a huge problem to manage if you've just kidnapped this child. The second piece of this, to that digital footprint question, is if the authorities have looked at that digital footprint and said, okay, it just doesn't exist, then you have to go back to the house and you have to start looking at all of what we call the victimology of each and every individual that is in that home or had access to that home, and then start dissecting this case from there.
All right, our guests are staying with us. When we come back,
I needed Farrah and Farrah's help because I was in a car accident.
Yeah, I don't know. They put out a statement saying Chris doesn't work with them. I've never seen that. And I followed Summer Wells pretty close. Granny, what did you catch? Let me go back. What you saying? So Sebastian has gone out at night? I missed that. Did he say that? Where did he say Sebastian went out at night? I missed that. Oh, he said he didn't? Pascal is not doing a live on Seth being a suspect. That would be JLR, not Pascal. Oh my God, now you don't remember. You're as bad as me. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever know what happened to Sebastian. I do. He said they went out fishing together. Yeah, at 3 a.m, right? Yeah, at 3 a.m, they went out fishing. They leave in the middle of the night, but does he go by himself? Yeah, where do they go? Where do they go fishing at? That's a good question. Seth, where do y'all go fishing? Is there water by Mary Magical Place or whatever the fuck it's called? Mary's Magical Playground? Where did that segment go? Oh, he plays this too. Look at, he got his clips from SF Investigates. Hold on, let's watch this part.
A lot of questions that need to be answered. Here's more of his story.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers seemingly disappeared without a trace from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, where he was living with his mom and stepdad. His mom said he went to bed, and in the morning, he was nowhere to be found. Investigators reportedly have no suspects, no leads, and no evidence of what happened to Sebastian. How is that possible, and where is Sebastian?
This is a case that's been very short on evidence, but an audio recording has been circulating online that sounds like it could be a radio transmission from a canine handler during the search for Sebastian. Now,
he's just playing this last night? He's just now playing the dispatch audio?
Speaker on this audio references several places near Sebastian's home, like the construction site, the cemetery, and the retention pond. The link to this audio file was uploaded to Twitter by SF Investigates, but it's unclear where the recording came from originally.
Nice big track back up, going into the construction site over here back towards the beach.
It's unclear where it came from originally. Who did put this audio out there? Who did put this audio out there? Hey, B. Tim. Hey, Shell. No, it's cool, Irish girl. I've already been there and done that with Chris McDonough years ago. These people are not new to me.
Going behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Hey, this is all dry, hard packed. Outside report. LT, we're now headed back south towards the cemetery on the far end of the construction site. Oh boy, I can see you. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints. The shoes that Max went straight into the pond. He literally dove into it.
So if you've got the canines taking the handler somewhere, what exactly does that mean? It brings me to our next question in this investigation, which is, did Sebastian walk away?
So I know Jessica Danielle put it out, and I know True Crime with Eve put it out, and I think she said she got it from Broadcastify archives.
Did he walk away? Just leave home for whatever reason? To try to answer this question, let's bring in our experts, relationship trauma expert, psychotherapist, and CEO of Life Counseling Solutions. Dr. Janie Lacey is with me. Also joining me, former homicide.
It says Dr. Gary Bricado. Whoops. Whoopsie daisies.
You're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Detective and host of The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is with us as well. Great to see you both. Chris, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts about this recording and the thoughts of the canines and their handlers following some scent somewhere?
Well, first of all, Vinny, the recording in of itself, and I was a dog handler from 1986 to 1989. And when a dog is on a track like that, you know, is she picking up the scent of the the boy headed towards that pond. Is that a possibility? Absolutely. It could be a possibility. So the investigation then would have to shift into, the water resources in relationship to that pond to make sure they've checked that box.
Let me ask you, Dr. Jenny Lacey, this is a 15-year-old child with autism. We're asking the question, did Sebastian walk away?
These people don't know.
About 3 hours from a law enforcement perspective.
Because that we would want to follow.
Something he's never else.
People they meet online as friends. So that would be a path that we would want to follow.
I want to take a listen to what his dad told me on a previous program about Sebastian just walking out of the house.
It doesn't seem like my son at all. He would never leave my house in the middle of the night barefoot, and if he did, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. We've left in the middle of the night. There's been times that we've gone fishing in the middle of the night. We plan that sort of stuff. But him walking out the door in the middle of the night, no. It's not something he would do. It's something he's never done on me.
I think he just meant, they've gone fishing in the middle of the night planned, but he's never just up and walked out like, hey, I'm just going to go for a walk.
Chris, for him to walk out in the middle of the night, I think it would take him to be lured by someone. And if that's the case, there would seemingly be some digital trail and perhaps a physical trail of that.
Yeah, absolutely, Vinny, and you're 1,000% correct. And that digital footprint by this point, we're almost 6 months into this, and
we already watched this.
Also take into consideration we have a child on the spectrum scale. He's on.
Okay, I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but I do want to play this one clip that I put together yesterday so we can talk about it, because I want to discuss it. I know I put it out for y'all to watch, but I want to walk through it because I have some commentary. This is from Jennifer Coffindaffer.
YouTubers and TikTokers nationwide have covered nearly every step, but now Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, indicates it's gone too far. In a legal filing for an order of protection, Katie says Andra Griffin, also known by her YouTube name of Bullhorn Betty, accused the family of harming their son while, quote, inciting the public and her followers to aid her in stalking. Katie calls the YouTuber, quote, dangerous. Each of Bullhorn Betty's YouTube videos will be summarized for the DA's office. Until that time, a temporary restraining order says Andra cannot stalk or come within 100 feet of Katie or her home.
Recently, they have tried to put in an order of protection against Bullhorn Betty, who is a YouTuber. She's been involved in a lot of cases. And the point is she's gone to their campsite. I've seen a lot of the footage. She's gone by their house. She certainly is doing this, I think, as a boots on the ground YouTuber. There's a lot of them out there that are trying to show people, look, he's lying. He says he's here, but he's really not here, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about this order that she's trying to get? And what do you think about social media YouTubers and so forth doing this sort of action?
So it's as nuanced and multifaceted as you can get. I'm a huge fan of citizen journalism. Citizens are really the best witnesses for what happens in life, and they're a necessary part because they're the corpus that makes up our communities. So you have to have their involvement, and a more involved community, the better. I wish everybody could name their local judges. I just wish they didn't name them because of the mistakes that the judges had made. I think everybody should know who their chief of police is, just not because they kept on some people that probably shouldn't be cops anymore. People really should be involved in their community. Unfortunately, this is not what's happening with where the line is between community organizers and interested notable people and the outright harassment of private people. That's a tough line to draw out here.
So he's comparing what normal citizen journalism is, but this has crossed a line. But Betty took that to mean, he took up for her.
And I've seen it in lots of different cases, and I've seen all the different justifications. I'm just the press investor. I'm just a private concerned citizen about these dangerous people in my community. reverse roles, because that's what a judge is going to do. And a judge is going to look at someone and say, hey, this family has suffered a crime. Their child is missing. A bad thing happened. What is the public doing to them? And what are the specific actions that are being complained about when it comes to something like a protective order?
Terry Bowersox. Terry Bowersox, right there. Came up and decided to take my plate on.
Imagine the pew pew. Imagine the pew pew in the bra.
Who's harassing who out here? The proof is in the pudding. The Bowersox and the Proudfoots are the ones coming and harassing people. That right there, my friend, is Terry Bowersox. Came by and took a picture. Why are you taking my license plate?
Why are you filming me?
Because you came by me, Mr. Bowersox.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in a public place.
Yes.
Why are you harassing me and following me? Why are you harassing me and following me when I'm conducting business?
How can I be following you?
You just were in that plaza. You've been following me, sir. You guys have been harassing me and threatening me for 2 days.
Prove it.
I am. Right here, sir. Right here, sir.
Unhinged.
Prove it? Yeah, I did just prove it, asshole. Better go through that fucking light. Fuck with me. I don't need violence. I'll capture you on film. Prove it? There it is. Who's following? Who's stalking? Who's harassing? Now, you guys got yourself a lawsuit, Mr. Bowersox.
A protective order in all 50 states is a civil order. It is a quasi-criminal order because it's a civil order that results in criminal sanctions if it's violated. And remember how most of them are going to be couched. It's couched from what the listener, the petitioner who asked for that order, how they feel. Not the intent of the actor being complained against, but how reasonable is it for the petitioner holder of that restraining order, protective order, whatever you want to call it? How do they reasonably interpret the actions that have caused them to ask for this remedy?
Going to stop, and everything that they've done to try to silence me is only going to make my voice even louder on this platform and other platforms related to the Sebastian Rogers case. What they did was totally stupid. It put them in liability, but more importantly, you know, I'm pretty sure this is going to get around to Nina, you know, and quite frankly, I think it might just be a little too dangerous for, you know, poor little Faith to be around, you know, the Bowersox home or the Proudfoot's home, you know. I mean, it seems like it's a
veiled threat here. Veiled threat here. If it's so dangerous that you need a protection order, oh, then it's just probably not safe for Faith to be there. She is the lowest of the low.
dangerous situation out there, right? People agree. I mean, we got a dangerous situation here. You know, their lives are in danger here. You know, at both places that poor little Faith would be staying. You know, it just seems really, really bad. It just seems like a bad optic. You know, whenever you're trying to get custody or visitation with your child, it just seems like it's bad.
It's bad optics to act like you do. That's what's bad optics. She thinks she's worldwide. She said it. I'm global at this point.
Right? So I don't know if she's learning about this or she will be learning about this, but it just sounds like it's awfully too dangerous for Faith. You know, I definitely would be very, very, very concerned about that for sure. You know, with all the craziness and the crazy YouTubers threatening their life and stuff, it just seems a little too dangerous for a little girl. That's all I'm saying. You know, obviously the household was a little too dangerous for a boy, a 15-year-old boy, long before we even got here. So, you know, now that things are heating up and there's these arranged YouTubers running loose in the community, you know, I would be, if I was Nina, I'd be so concerned about this, you know, her child. So we'll see how this all plays out with the custody situation that's going on. But, you know, it sounds like it's really dangerous over at the Bowersox. Probably not the best place for Faith to be. It sounds like it's pretty dangerous over at the Proudfoot's house, you know, according to everything that they're making statements about alleged.
And guess what? Going by their house, harassment, intimidation.
Driving on a public property, on public road with a camera hanging out. There's nothing unlawful about that. That happened over a month ago. It was when it's the only time I've been in the Hendersonville area.
Going online and screaming their name and attaching a whole bunch of people and frothing about, man, Judge Josh finds that pretty intentionally harassing. And if your job, whether you want to call it a job, is to gain clicks through saying whatever is possible, I'm going to find that harassing, especially if you're doing it with a pecuniary intent where you're making any kind of money. And that's really where I get wound up against some of these people on the inner tubes, is because let's just cut to, they don't care. They care about clicks. They care about explosive, salacious allegations not based in truth and digging up gotcha photographs and statements and misconstruing and mispresenting so that people in their ever-hungering need to not be in trouble and to point out how other people are bad because it reflects on their own insecurities inside, they're going to go click on that stuff and generate revenues through advertising. So I fully support these families who are somehow connected to a tragedy, exercising their rights to have the state protect them from the inherent harassment and abuse that some scrutiny brings. But where's that line? And I don't have a great read on where that line exactly is, because it's up to the petitioner. It's up to the Proudfoot. It's up to the Senate to get up there and say, hey, this is the person who's harassing me. This is the way the harassment is taking place. But I absolutely feel that these protective orders are valid. I'm already consulting and talking about different ways to go sue different producers of media because of some of the stuff that we've encountered from certain people on the internet. Because guess what? I get complaints about that person said this, and most of the time, like, no, I'm staying out of it. There are a couple that are really above and beyond the pale and are violating, in my opinion, and 12 people. I'll put it in front of 12 people. I'll ask 12 people, is that person, that content creator, are they doing this for legitimate reasons? Or are they intentionally harassing, abusing, intimidating these private citizens? And more importantly, are they interfering with law enforcement investigation? Because that's really what some of these people have done by going and talking to witnesses, by going and, trying to insert themselves before trial. You're now stomping all over the toes of law enforcement. And where there's a benefit, yes, the public gets to, get in there and investigate and show the press. That's great. You want to be press? Go be press. But if you're just a jerk neighbor who's harassing someone because you are going to present some piece of gotcha information, man, I hope you get sued into the ground, and I'll be the guy to yank your last pennies away so you can't pay your mortgage. Because guess what you're doing? It's wrong. It's wrong. You are not the self-appointed spokesman. You have freedom of speech. That freedom comes with accountability and costs.
Sure does, Beth.
Free speech ain't free. You can spend your way into the poorhouse if you free speech your way into a lawsuit. And especially when it's combined with physical actions. And now we have allegations of literally witnesses having drive-bys and organized things. I think it'll be fascinating when it hits the courts.
I agree, Joshua. I think it'll be fascinating when it hits the courts, too. SS says Joshua Schiffer is great here. I don't know anything about him, but I hope he keeps this energy. It's rare people coming in the community are good nowadays. I agree. It seems like people only come in the community to, spread an agenda for their own good. And I really feel like Jennifer Coffindaffer, I applaud her for bringing this into our sector here because, like SS said, no one else is saying it. Vinny kind of hit it when they hit the music and cut him off, but permaband Cooter. But then you've got TikTok Tony in Betty's lives super chatting saying Seth and I support you. There just needs to be a line drawn, and I think a precedence needs to be set. Juju, that would be a hard no. Do you think she'll be at the Manatee meeting? I don't know. Gina Marie, who knows, right? Because I think that she just Coffindaffer didn't want to do it. Coffindaffer didn't want to do it and be the one to say it because she's neutral. She brings on, whoever will talk. You know what I'm saying? So we've got one more. This one's shorter, but this is about the YouTube channel, and I thought this was interesting as well.
Oh, I had one more question on Seth, though. He recently started a YouTube channel. The reason he started a YouTube channel is because
look at him. He's like, oh, all she had to say was he started a YouTube channel. She's like, oh, Lord.
To get the message out. They want to keep Sebastian's name and everything out there. And he was tired of going on these YouTube channels and feeling like he was taken advantage of, that the questions, that they were just setting him up for issues.
What I'd like people to do is join the Facebook page. I don't have Facebook, so I'm not on there. There should be a post going out there so I can find out where people are, what states you're in.
Who's he looking at?
I don't have Facebook, so I'm not on there.
He's always looking to the side, too. Wasn't this at Michaela's? Is he looking towards the house? Looking at Rev through the window? Sup, Rev? We're punking everybody, Rev. This isn't funny, he says. This isn't a joke. This isn't funny.
I have a YouTube. I put a video on there today.
Put a video on there today. Okay. Let me see.
Yeah. Small little video. It's only like 50 seconds long. It was Sebastian at the park playing tag.
Yeah, I think I've seen that video.
I didn't see it. California. Yeah, I posted it earlier today.
How?
I don't have Facebook, so I'm not on there.
What do you think about the father of a missing person having a YouTube channel? Just
Absolutely terrible idea. Absolutely terrible idea. I know how much people want to stand up and be her. No, stop it. Stop it. That is narcissism, because you are just trying to satisfy your own failings about, I'm not getting the message out, I'm not doing the right thing, I'm not being the good dad, at the expense of your child's well-being, and you are exposing yourself to so many different things. You are making the eventual state's case weaker. You really are. If you're not involved, you're making the state's case weaker. I know you don't think so, but trust me, I'm a jerk lawyer. We can turn your words around. It's what happens. The more mess you add to the fire, it's people just throwing buckets of twigs every time you get out there and talk out of school, because he's going to be mentioning the relations with the mom. He's going to be complaining about this person's fairness. Or
look at his self-portrait behind him.
That person's fairness. And that friction, that discussion itself detracts from what's really important, which is Sebastian finding him and getting justice for what happened, if anything, because as unlikely as I believe it, there's still theoretically the fact that a 15-year-old autistic kid just wandered away and disappeared and they haven't found him. I don't buy a lot of that. I think there's a little bit more. I definitely think someone else was involved. But the dad getting a YouTube channel, especially with the blessing of some media, horrible.
With the blessing of some media spokesperson, that's what he wanted to say. I don't think she's biased. I think she just tries to stay neutral. With the blessing of some media spokesperson. Horrible. He says, sit down. He says, sit the fuck down. Listen.
Media, horrible. Stop it.
Okay, next question.
Sit down.
He's like, sit down.
Sit down. Bitch, sit down.
Oh, man. Justice happens in that courtroom. Well, let's talk about, too, the fact that Bullhorn Betty...
No,
whoops, Stop it. But Bullhorn Betty got Don Wells fired from his job when the Summer case was, active. She went there with Molly Golightly and JLR, and they single-handedly got him shit-canned from his drywall job. And no one said shit. His name is Josh Schiffer. No one said shit. No one said shit. But you know what? That was wrong. We should have been saying shit. Yeah, why is it in family court? I thought that was interesting too, Hazel. Hey, true crime and other stuff. JC is Buds. Who's JC? Who the fuck is JC? JC is Buds with Bullhorn Betty. JC. Dude, who's JC? Well, and Mark Klein. Ew, Delaney. Hi, Delaney. It's held in the family court, from what you understand, Katie. Yeah, Molly Golightly called Candace a baby killer. Yeah, they were awful. So he called Jeff a narcissist. Who's Jeff? Everyone stood up for Don and Candace when that happened, and Don went in the news. I don't remember anybody standing up for them. Yes, talking to witnesses, etc. That makes a case weak in the courtroom. I literally left this community over the first few months of Summer Wells. It burned this community to the ground, and I don't recognize what's left. Watts and Long did so much. Then Gernon and Wells. Summer Wells got really bad, yeah. It did. I left for a while too, SS. Getting people fired so they can't pay their bills is sick. I believe it is in family court due to Sebastian. Yeah, I don't know. Josh called Seth, who created a YouTube channel, a narcissist. Exactly. The dad. He said, the dad, you're a narcissist. He said, sit down. Oh, Jennifer Coffendorfer. Sorry, I'm not good with the initial thing. Now I don't even remember what was said about JC. Oh, buds with Buller and Buddy. I don't think she's buds. I think she was just trying to, like I said, she doesn't want drama. Do you know how much drama Jennifer Coffendorfer gets? She gets ragged on bad. She really does. So I'm sure she doesn't want the wrath of Betty. She has no, boundaries. It's completely sick, especially when these rich women who do it have never worked a damn day in their ignorant lives. Damn, SS. Go on, boy. Go on, boy.
There was a lot of leakage.
I don't think they went on vacation, Michael. It's not like they were on a cruise. I don't think so, Freezer. I don't think she'll get a bench warrant. If anything, they'll give her a more time, or they'll just grant it. But vacation, they left for safety reasons. So maybe Katie didn't feel safe staying home alone. And neither would I. Jennifer, let the lawyer say what she thinks. Exactly. There's ways that you play things and ways that you don't. And if you guys can't see through that, then that's on you. But myself, I can see through things. And, you bring a guest on sometimes to say what you aren't really qualified to say. She's not a lawyer. And if she would have said it, everyone would have said, well, Coffendorfer, you're not a fucking lawyer, so why are you talking about it? You know what I'm saying? You can't win with these motherfuckers here around these streets. She wouldn't avoid being served to then show up. Yeah, I think she's going to go wait for that little thing she's got planned. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I'll see you guys back on J is for Justice at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard tonight. We're going to be taking some calls. Hopefully that goes all right. And hopefully I'll see you guys then, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on J is for Justice. Thanks for listening and have a good rest of your evening.